On a foggy night that blanketed the grounds of the ancient fortress, a young guard named Thomas was making his routine patrol near the historic White Tower. The air was damp and thick, muting the sounds of the night and cloaking the stone paths in a ghostly veil. As he passed the shadowy outline of the tower, a soft voice called out from the mist. Turning, Thomas saw a figure, a woman, dressed in the elaborate royal garments of a bygone era. Her dress shimmered with faded opulence under the moon's pale light, and her gaze held an unworldly sorrow. The lady introduced herself with a regal yet melancholic air, pleading for his help in finding her lost jewels. She said they were of great sentimental value, remnants of her past life. Feeling a mix of duty and curiosity, Thomas agreed to assist her, and they began to search the grounds. The lady led him through forgotten pathways and overgrown gardens, her presence like a whisper against the swirling fog. As they approached a secluded part of the castle, she directed him to a hidden entrance, partly concealed by ivy and shadow. The entrance led down to a dungeon that was not marked on any of the modern maps. The air inside was cooler, filled with the unexpected sweet scent of roses. It was disorienting, the floral fragrance strong and seemingly out of place within the dank stone walls. Thomas felt a chill run down his spine as he turned to ask the lady a question, only to find she had vanished without a trace. Bewildered, he searched the area, but there was no sign of her, only the lingering scent of roses that seemed to mock his confusion. The dungeon was empty, save for the echoes of his own movements. Shaken, he returned to the surface and recounted his encounter to an older guard. The man listened intently, then shared with Thomas the legend of Anne Boleyn, the ill-fated queen who was executed in the nearby grounds, and whose spirit was said to roam the tower, forever searching for her lost possessions, and occasionally a companion to share her eternal solitude. Thomas realized then that his mysterious lady was none other than Anne Boleyn herself, her spirit as restless as the fog that shrouded the tower that night. The realization left him haunted, forever changed by the encounter, wary of the fog and the secrets it might conceal within its whispering embrace. Deep within the tower, where the walls bear the scars of history and the air tastes of salt and decay, there lies a dungeon seldom visited by the light of day. It is here, in these damp, forgotten cells, that visitors report eerie disturbances that chill the blood and unsettle the heart. The clanking of chains echoes through the corridors, followed by a low, mournful wail that seems to seep from the very stones themselves. The tale told by the keepers of the tower speaks of a phantom prisoner, a young noble who lived during a tumultuous period marked by intrigue and betrayal. Accused of treason for his supposed plots against a ruthless monarch, he was condemned without a trial, his fate sealed by the whispered words of enemies rather than the weight of evidence. Dragged to the deepest cell, he was left to languish, the salt air corroding his chains and the darkness consuming his hopes. As legend has it, on certain nights when the mist from the river creeps like a living thing into the dungeon, the phantom prisoner appears. He manifests as a shadowy figure, gaunt and tall, his form barely discernible in the dim light that filters through the barred windows. Those who have seen him say he stares out from behind the bars, his eyes hollow yet burning with a profound sorrow and an unspoken warning. It is said that his gaze implores the living to cherish their freedom, a treasure he was unjustly denied. Some visitors have heard his wails grow louder as they approach his cell, a sound so filled with anguish that even the hardiest souls turn back, their nerve broken by the heart-rending cries. Others claim to feel a cold hand brush against theirs, as if the phantom seeks comfort, or perhaps a plea for remembrance. Over the years, the story of the phantom prisoner has become a grim reminder of the injustices that have stained the tower's history. Guides recount his tale in hushed tones, and historians search old records, hoping to uncover the truth of his identity and restore some dignity to his tormented spirit. Yet, despite their efforts, he remains a spectral enigma, bound forever to his cell, a reminder of the darker chapters of human history and the price of forgotten freedoms. In the hallowed halls of the Jewel House, where the most treasured symbols of the monarchy are kept under lock and key, there lingers a spirit bound by duty even in death. This spirit is that of a former keeper of the crown jewels, who met a violent end many years ago during a daring robbery attempt. Brutally murdered while defending the precious gems, his soul is said to be unable to find rest, forever roaming the corridors where he once served. As night falls over the tower, where the stones whisper old secrets and the shadows play tricks on the eyes, the ghost of the former keeper emerges. Staff and visitors have reported seeing a ghostly figure pacing methodically back and forth along the cold stone floors of the jewel house, dressed in the garb of an old-time guardian, complete with a ceremonial sword that seems to catch the non-existent light. His presence is both an eerie reminder of the past and a spectral protector of the present. Occasionally, he pauses, bending over the displays to adjust jewels that are no longer there, his hands moving through the air with a practiced grace that speaks of years tending to these royal treasures. Witnesses describe how the moonlight seems to reflect off his form, giving him a silvery, ethereal glow that mimics the sparkle of the diamonds he once so fiercely guarded. The story of the keeper's undying vigilance adds a chilling layer to the history of the crown jewels. Some say that his spirit also serves as a deterrent to would-be thieves, a ghostly guardian whose presence is felt most strongly in the dead of night, when the risk of intrusion seems highest. Even seasoned guards whisper amongst themselves about hearing the faint clinking of his keys or the soft, sorrowful sighs he emits as he gazes upon the treasures he can no longer touch. The tale of the keeper's loyalty and tragic demise has become a part of the lore of the tower, a story passed down through generations of those who work within its walls. Visitors listen in hushed fascination, glancing nervously toward the shadows as they move past the displays, half expecting to catch a glimpse of the spectral figure in their peripheral vision. And as they leave, they carry with them not only images of the splendid jewels, but also the haunting image of a man who died defending them, bound forever to his duty, a ghostly sentinel in the night. Within the shadowy confines of the White Tower, among a collection of ancient armaments and relics of wars long past, there stands a set of armor so dark it seems to swallow the light around it. This armor, blackened as though by fire and etched with the scars of many battles, carries a tale of betrayal and a curse that chills the very air in its vicinity. The armor once belonged to a knight of considerable renown, known for his bravery and loyalty. However, his fate took a grim turn when he was falsely accused of treason by those he trusted most. Dishonored and stripped of his titles, he faced a public demise that was as brutal as it was unjust. In his final moments, filled with rage and despair, the knight swore vengeance against those who had betrayed him, his voice ringing out in a chilling curse that echoed off the stone walls of the tower. Since that fateful day, the armor has remained in the White Tower, a somber reminder of the dark side of loyalty and honor. At night, guards and visitors report a palpable sense of unease near the display. An ominous aura surrounds the armor, as if it pulses with the residual fury and pain of its original owner. Some have even heard whispered threats emanating from the helm, promises of revenge spoken in a voice as cold as the grave. Braver souls, often daredevils drawn by the legend of the curse, have approached the armor and dared to touch its cold metal surface. Those who have done so claim to feel an icy hand clasping their own, its grip firm and unnerving, as if the disgraced knight himself is reaching out from beyond the veil to pull them into his vengeful saga. These encounters with the cursed armor have become a part of the lore of the White Tower, spoken of in hushed tones and often accompanied by warnings to respect the spirits of the past. The tale serves as a stark reminder of the thin line between honor and vengeance and the deep scars that betrayal can leave on a person's soul. As night falls and the corridors of the tower grow silent, the presence of the cursed armor is a ghostly sentinel, a keeper of dark histories and unfinished business from centuries gone by. The Bloody Tower, a structure infamous for its dark history and tragic past, plays host to one of the most haunting specters in the annals of ghostly lore, the Red Lady. As the clock chimes the stroke of midnight, those who dare to wander near or gaze upon the tower might catch the briefest glimpse of her spectral figure. She appears in the upper windows, visible only for the fleeting moments, as the sound of the bell fades into the stillness of the night. Clad in a flowing gown of the deepest red, the Red Lady's visage is forever obscured by a veil that seems soaked in blood, adding to the eerie and chilling aspect of her appearance. Legend has it that she was once a noble woman of high stature, wrongfully accused and executed within the walls of the tower for a heinous crime she did not commit. Her trial was swift, and her fate sealed by the false testimonies of those who envied her or feared her influence. Now her spirit remains tethered to the bloody tower, a mournful and restless presence that haunts its storied stones. Those who have witnessed her appearance say that her presence is accompanied by a palpable air of sorrow and despair, her silent vigil a testament to her unending grief and desire for justice. The sight of the Red Lady is considered an ill omen, foretelling misfortune or tragedy to those unfortunate enough to see her as she keeps her lonely watch. The tale of the Red Lady is often whispered among the guides and visitors, a ghost story that adds a layer of supernatural intrigue to the already rich tapestry of history that envelops the tower. Some say her spirit seeks to warn the living, reminding them of the cruelty and injustice that can be wrought by power and fear. Others believe she is simply reliving her last moments, trapped in a loop of sorrow and perpetual retribution. Her story, while a chilling addition to the folklore of the place, also serves as a somber reflection on the past, reminding all who hear it of the tower's grim legacy of betrayal and the cost of innocence lost. As the clock continues to strike midnight through the years, the Red Lady's vigil endures, a ghostly beacon of the tower's bloody history. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.